The lesson I'm going to show you is a simple optical illusion that can be done on lined paper. This is a completed version, and this is the prep sketch that I suggest that all students make ahead of time so that they learn the little pattern and practice. This one I had the students do in pencil. Okay, so what you'll do is you get a nice piece of notebook paper, and the first step is to number across and have a ruler handy. You want to accentuate the line that you're going to do. So starting at the red line at the top of the paper, you're going to come across to, I went to about 5 inches. All right, I tell students if they don't have a ruler handy, a straight edge is good. You could even use sort of your hand as a measurement, so about the length of your hand, the average hand. And you're going to number 1 through 6, leaving somewhat equal space between them and knowing that 6 is your final line and you don't have much more to do. There isn't as the same pattern at the end. You'll see in a moment. Now, the benefit to having this lined paper is being able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and number through 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next step is to begin your pattern. So box 1, you're starting right at the red line. You're going to make an upside down triangle. So in order to show this in the video, I'm going to go down from the red line, 1 diagonal, and up to the line that I made where the number 1 exists. It is kind of important to make these triangles even. However, this is your practice, so I tell everybody, work slow, shade this in, okay? Use your pencil to shade this in. The pattern is going to be triangle, triangle, triangle. However, okay, what it starts to form, so you're gonna make another triangle. It's coming down to the red line and back to the line on your lined paper. You can eyeball, it started looking like an hourglass right now. See if these lines, I tell kids, like, just take your pencil and make a little quick measurement to see if it's even. Shade it in. All right. Next thing you want to do is you're making another triangle, but this one is going to be upside down again. So what happens is we go from just making a triangle shape to a diamond. This is where you must slow down. Don't rush, okay? Don't rush this step because in the end, it'll be worth it, especially because you want to try and make things as even as possible. So you would continue making this pattern straight down to the bottom, okay? And at this point, you now know that you're sort of making diamonds. I tell students, and I tell you, the viewer, stop when you get to number 9. Wait, because the pattern here and here is different on the rows, okay? The pattern repeats, but you gotta slow down. So shade these in, and for the sake of time, I'm not shading them perfectly, okay? You will shade them perfectly. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the final triangle, which is, as I said, coming from the right side, and it is in opposite. So this was upside down, this is right side up. Moving on. Now, I mentioned the pattern changes as you go along. This one is an upside down triangle, which means this one is going to be a right side up triangle, which is a little tricky to show in my video here, but I'm going to bring my line down and down from the 2 and make myself a triangle, leaving the space in between. And some of us who see spatial relations really easily are going to start to see the shapes forming. Don't worry if you don't see it right away. Just take your time. And now what you're going to know, what you know from the beginning, is this entire line going all the way to 9. Just slow down, okay? All the way to 9 are diamonds. So it's going to be a repeating pattern of diamonds. Okay. Now, as I told you, you always stop at 9 and pause to make sure your pattern is correct. So just to clarify, this was a facing up triangle. Row 2 is going to be the completion of a diamond. So this entire row essentially is all diamonds. So moving across our board here, 1 and 3 are going to be the same. So the pattern goes upside down triangle, right side up, upside down triangle, right side up. So what I've done is I like to slow down and do this step by step. Of course, you're watching this video, so you're going to want to watch it straight through. What you can do is go back, look at your pattern, upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up, upside down for number 5. Number 6 is where it changes. Row 1, 3, and 5 all look the same. Rows 2 and 4 look the same. Quick thing I want to show you, if you have a blending stump at home, something to just make a nice final touch when you're finishing up this part of the project is to use the blending stump just to make the sides of these little diamonds and triangles nice and evenly blended. All right, so the last 2 steps here. So at row 6, okay, you're going to, let me move my camera better here. So at row 6, okay, I'm going to go close to where I put the 6, okay? I don't want to have too much space in between these. You'll see, being you're doing this as a sketch, what you need to improve the second time around. And I draw a straight line. Now what happens here is you're going to draw only half of the triangle. So you're going to come down from this line and make a diagonal and make a diagonal. So it's a zigzag line. So zig, zag all the way to the bottom of the row. So it's just 1/2. And you can just say to yourself, these are also triangles, they're just facing a different way. And you would shade these in. Now, for lack of making this video too long, I just take a ballpoint pen for ease. And what I'm going to do is now complete a pattern. So just think black, white, black, white. Here's what you're going to do. So you have a little tiny triangle right here, okay, along this edge. You're going to skip the first one and you're going to go to the second one and you're going to add hatch marks, because hatch marks are a great way to show shadow. You're going to do hatch marks here and every other triangle. So I did row number 2, row number 4, row number 6, row number 8, and row number 10. And I'll demo one more. So if you have nothing here, that means you then use hatch marks here. Now, it's a little tricky to see in the camera, but you'll see hatch marks along this row and hatch marks. So everywhere you had an empty triangle, little tiny triangle, you make hatch marks in the bigger area. So here's a nice version of it. And this is what it starts to begin to look like. What I tell students, my tip is, if you would like to make one using the marker, and I will tell you right away, I went ahead and what I did was I just took my sketch and I laid the next piece of paper I wanted to use underneath it. And I made each triangle first in blue, in whatever color you want. Blue, 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 straight across the top row until I remembered what the pattern looked like. So I made all of these ahead of time and then I went in. It's much quicker the second go around. So good luck and have fun.